Unfiltered life here. Back on to talk about people glamorizing their life. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. We all do it. We've all done it at some point to make ourselves seem cool to our friend groups, to make ourselves seem like we're warranted of a blue tick. Do you get it? Like, I think social media has definitely added to that because now we've got the comfort of seeing anyone you like on your phone, even if you don't know them. You know, you make a opinion about somebody while seeing stuff which could be rented, could be bought, could be not theirs, could be a lot of things, but your mind is playing this all the time. So today we're just going to talk about it, innit? I think at some points there's nothing wrong with glamorizing your life if you are possibly living that lifestyle, innit? I think sometimes some of us have worked really hard for it, and others want it for other reasons. Do you get it? Like, man might want to glamorize their life because it will lead to them getting gal until girls realize that maybe their setup is not how it is. It just looks good on the outside. But sometimes you got to talk about that because with someone you got to be honest, and it might be with yourself first, isn't it? And I understand the people that do this stay in your lane lifestyle. Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that neither, because a glamorized picture, when you can see the truth, spells out a lie to most of us, innit? Um, we all can be victim, but also be ones who take part in glamorizing what we do, innit? I think movies paint that the best picture. You know, glamorizing drug dealing, glamorizing crime, drug lords, whatever you want to call yourself. All that glamorizing and the adding on, like the podcasts, sometimes giving people platforms to be able to stand on there and speak their story. You know, back in the day, this person used to terrorize this area and rare tear. There's a portion of all types of people from all walks of life that like this monetization of glamorization, right? Let's call it that. So, perfect example, yeah, is you get rich people, they be around other people or they want to show people how rich they are by glamorizing their lifestyle, showing it off, right? And they know some people ain't got the means or the funds to be able to do the things what they want to do. But we're gonna watch because out of curiosity, you're intrigued, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, me personally, I used to work for billionaires, so I've seen some shit. I've seen some shit which will make you say, "Wow," every day. And you know, I had this conversation with one of the people that lived there one time, and they were telling me that they spend £1,000 a week on food. Like, fresh food costs a lot of money, innit? That's a flex. However you like to look at it. £1,000 a week on good food isn't cheap for anybody. Do the maths, innit? Work it out for yourself. There's how many weeks in a year? Every week. Fresh. £1,000 getting spent on that. And when I look at it, it's like those people are not dressing anything up. They've got the money to afford the lifestyle. But some of us who ain't, which I'm generally talking about, we do it for the advertisement for others, you know? And if we put ourselves out there in that way, people think that you're cool. People think that you're on stuff. You got to start rating yourself before other people start putting you on this platform of being rated or glamorizing what you're doing or saying what you're doing is you're going in, you know, you're doing your thing. I've heard so many people say that, you know, you're doing your thing, and that's a compliment. Could be, it just depends what you've shown them, right? So your lifestyle or your life is your life choices, but there's times when we all want to just like show it off a little bit, which is, it's normal, man. You know, even for people that are modest, they like to do subtle things. Do you get it? They do subtle things, like they buy clothes with not the logo showing because they know that's the expensive one. But if you know, and you pick up items in that part of the shop, you would know. But you don't. You go for the loud pack, which is the design print all over it. Just to make context. It makes me think sometimes, you know, like, what are we showing this, or what are we doing here? Because sometimes we're painting a narrative which is not true, and other times we're depicting or picturizing our people who we look up to in life. Like, you know, like a lot of people who possibly done road, gangster stuff, right? That type of lifestyle. You grew up watching Shotters. You grew up watching things like Scarface. You watched The Sopranos because it was what it was. You watch The Wire, yeah? I will never forget when I watched The Wire personally, is I saw street life on a different level, because this is what you call organised crime, innit? And if you sold a few 20 bags back in the day, or you done your thing, you would know, innit? These lot are on a different type of level. And if you really are interested in that type of thing, you maybe do a little bit more research, and you find out that that story is based on true life stories, innit? Avon Barksdale and all that, they were real people, innit? Like, he lost his legs, I think, if I'm correct. But when you see people's hood stories get turned into movies or hit the internet, it's a recognition of like what those people done at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, whether you're into that or not. And it fuels other people to be like, do you know what, this is something what I might want to do, you know? And you get busy, innit? You might follow it through, you might not, you might realise that that's not the life for you. But what's glamorised in front of our faces is generally sometimes everyday life, but there is the negative as well. I do think some of the gangster things is a bit negative to be showing young people, because your mind's not really formed yet when you're really young. You don't even know who you want to be honest. You know, someone tells you about someone, you're like, right, I never heard about him before, I didn't know. You might be intrigued. Your intriguement lets you do some research, personal research. You sit down, you do your personals, and you realise, right, that person is that guy. I want to be like that. It's easy for me to say, be yourself, you know, because there's shitloads of people saying that. Oh, be yourself, be yourself. You don't know who you want to be yet. And sometimes it gets like that, especially for males. Like, they're not sure what type of character they want to be seen as to the rest of the public and the rest of the world. So you create one by taking little parts of other people on what you think is cool, or what you think will sit well with you or sit well with others. And you run with it, man. You run with it. And it's interesting to watch sometimes, because I used to have a friend, yeah? He used to watch a lot of Fabulous, like the rapper, and he would like try and live the life like Fabulous, which was hilarious to me, because I grew up listening to that type of music, and I'm saying, hold on, does my man think he's Loso? But it was just interesting to see, you know, like, but again, people probably changed that in some degree to meet their styles, or to meet like their lifestyle. Because he couldn't do the same things as Fabulous, obviously, but he would definitely try. And you can't knock people for trying, you know. I think your lane is what you make it. Like, I said it in the first video, that life and everything doesn't have to be perfect. But as long as you're kind of like learning from a lot of these life experiences, you're getting a little bit more wiser, innit? You're cracking into a certain part of life where you possibly start reflecting, and start looking back and saying, what I done there was young. I've definitely done that. I've definitely looked at certain people's life choices and said to myself, bet that person gets a lot of respect, or I bet that person is. The truth is, I don't know. I only know what I've kind of made up as an answer for myself. And it leads me to the point in saying that there is no right and wrong in glamorising what you're doing if you are really doing it. And even if you're not doing it, there's enough people fucking faking it till they make it. And a big percentage of those people you would never really know, because you're not in their financial books. You don't know if everything is real. Another example is Dan Bilzerian. I know you lot must have seen him. Like, I saw Dan Bilzerian like early days, yeah, when he was messing up. I don't know, what was he on? Instagram? Yeah. Loads of girls partying. And you'd think like, I know people like to have a good time, but slow it down, my boy. And you saw the videos come out of him after about, you know, he's broke or stuff like that. But a lot of men could definitely not sit here today and say that they wouldn't want to be at one of those parties, because it looked like it was popping off. But if you had the funds to be in there, you know, it's going to be a heavy night, expensive. But that's what you get with that type of lifestyle, and that's what he was promoting. I think it wouldn't stop too many people still wanting to hang out with him today. Don't know if he's still doing that. But yeah, that's a perfect example of glamorising the lifestyle, which I feel a lot of people want a taste of. And I think even being on the main stage and being the person people turn to as like you're that person, there's a lot of pressure on that person. Pressure to perform. I mean, perform like when they're out, like be entertaining, but also be this character who's like larger than life, innit? Because when you've glammed yourself up to be someone, you've now added like, let me say it like this. You want people to be aware of you like Kim K, but you also want to be able to speak out and lash out like Kanye. And then you want to be able to be respected like Denzel. Because in my personal opinion, Denzel gets a lot of respect, you know what I mean? Don't see him with too many bodyguards and all that, so people have to respect his space. I don't know if you've seen some posts with him before, like where he's just out, like one man deep, you know, it's not that vibe with him. And keeps it very stern with people. But he's not glamorising that. That's just kind of how that person is, isn't it? But I want to use that as an example, as personality traits or bits of people's personality, what people see, what try to bring themselves a combined together, and like, this is me. So again, it makes me think that like a lot of the time we're just piecing things together. And again, with any journey in your own life, yeah, there's nothing wrong with trying to piece stuff together, because it's all about figuring it out, innit? A lot of us don't have it figured out. I ain't had it figured out for years, which I'm kind of fine with, because I realise that a lot of other people don't. And it only comes kind of irrelevant when you start talking about plans or talking about things, what people are doing, or looking back and seeing how long it's took you to get from one place to another. But I'm going to save that for another conversation. But I'll just remind you guys that I've been putting out a few videos, so I'd appreciate if you would subscribe, like, share. Drop a little comment underneath as well, man. You know, because I want people to be engaged with my content. It's not just me talking to the camera. I want to know if people went through the same type of things in life at the end of the day. You know, I've seen people get a lot of ratings, then years later, no one don't respect them. Not because of a move, what they've done, it's because of relevance. it doesn't always last for everyone forever. And when you see that, you think to yourself, boy, was it all worth it? Do you get it? But as long as they've got something, whether it might be the memories or the materialistical things, it'll always be a W for them. So always watch your own plate, man. You know, I've had, and I have got friends in life who are definitely millionaires, and they don't really glamorize their life because they're quite low key people, but they just move in their own lane now. Remember, I don't think at that point, or the point even getting to having £1 million in their bank, that they're looking at other people as competition and stuff like that. They're just getting along with it. You know, I think it becomes less about sharing with the masses because you're focused on your goal, which is life, innit? And making your life better for yourself. So at some points, glamorizing it or faking it till you make it could definitely be a plan for a lot of people, because a lot of us do it, man. A lot of people do it. You don't know some people who you watch and you don't know what their bank account is like, but their words are very impactful to most of us, because either they've learnt to speak with cadence and clarity, or they've just been a good storyteller, you know. I think when I first started YouTube, that was one of the things what they said. You know, if you're doing like talking headshot videos, be a good storyteller, be able to narrate a good story, which I'm always working on, because I don't think it's about being a perfect version of myself. Like, my videos are getting longer, but they're gonna get better as well, because I'm gonna put more detail into them. But I'm also gonna think about what I'm gonna say before, because I realise that is important. But again, I'm not glamorising up my channel. I'm giving it to you uncut, like the raw version, innit? Because I see too many people do that, man. You know, and I've got another channel as well, but it's totally separate to what I speak about on here. That's why I wanted to do this channel, because it gave me a reason to sit down, connect, but also learn from my own mistakes and the things what I've done as well. Because, like I said, I've glamorized certain parts of my life, and people have respected me. Never kind of like disrespected me, but it's all from glamorized behaviour, which I like to leave it as. I don't like to go into detail what that is, but you get what I mean if you know. Yeah, people. So we're at that point in the video where I remind you to put on your notifications, because I'm dropping videos daily, yeah, on this channel. So if you want to touch in, get on a new conversation, make sure you put them notifications on, because when I'm dropping, it'll be constant. Let's get it.